topic that we really want to take a look at is on the roster. Let's start on the Marvel side of the roster, and there's a lot of new characters on the roster, and yeah, it has to be that way because if you actually have almost every single character that was in this previous game, you actually don't have a new game. You have the same game all over again. So obviously you need to have new characters in the game. But the problem that I actually have with the characters on this game, on the Marvel side on this time, is that Marvel has a lot of obscure and second-rate characters that most people actually don't know about or don't care. Actually don't care. The main characters that are in the game, the top gods of Marvel that are actually in the game, on my perspective, they actually feel like they are in the game for promotional purpose. An example is that we have Captain America. He's a fan favorite. He's been almost in every game, but he has a movie coming up. Thor, which his first appearance was as an assistant on Marvel vs. Capcom. Now he's a playable character. We have been asking for him for a while, but he has a movie coming. Iron Man and Hulk, fan favorites, but there's a bigger movie coming up. Who else? Spider-Man. He's a fan favorite, but he has a new movie coming up. He actually has a reboot of the movie series coming up. The only character that I find out, another one, Magneto. He's a fan favorite.
Magneto.
Yeah, Magneto. Where's your curly mustache at? But he has a movie coming up. X-Men First Class. Anyone? And the only character actually that I can find on the new game that is a fan favorite, is one of the top gods, who actually doesn't have a movie coming up, at least that I know, is Doctor Doom. But I believe there could have been more characters of the Marvel side that are more important from the characters that are in this game. I always wanted to see the theme of the game. We actually had Orange Hulk. Why they actually didn't make it the thing, or actually include the thing in this game? There's the only characters that are from the Fantastic Four that are in the game are actually villains, which is Doctor Doom. How's it called? The Martian guy that has the Super Skull. I always forget his name. And Galactus. No one else. What happened to the heroes from? Actually, they couldn't include the Thing or the Human Torch. Could have been awesome. Yeah. Who else do you actually think could have been in the roster?
Actually, any of the Fantastic Four. I really wanted at least one of the Fantastic Four. I mean, I'm not asking for all four of them because I mean it's only 3 teams. It's only 3 character teams. It's like really awkward, you know, having 4 Fantastic Four and like
But actually, we don't have the Fantastic Four in the game, but there's a lot of reference to the Fantastic Four in the game.
Even the tower is in
the tower is on the Spider-Man stage. Now on the Capcom side, I know that you have some issues with the Capcom side.
Yeah, it's just there's only 2 villains. Only 2 villains on the Capcom. It's like you see the Marvel side. It's like we got Doctor Doom, we got Super Skull, we got Magneto, we got Galactus, etc. And Dormammu, exactly. Whatever. You know, we got a lot of villains, and yet on the Capcom side, we only got Wesker and Akuma, if he can be
considered. Actually took out Captain Commando, but he actually did a great job on Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It was a great character. Why they actually include it on this game? We all know the issues that go around with the original Mega Man, and something similar actually happened with Strider.
Yeah.
Because the people that work with the Strider franchise actually moved on from Capcom as well. Too much heroes on the Capcom side. Too much unknown or obscure characters on the Marvel side. So on the Marvel side, some gamers, people that actually are playing online. I talked with some people on YouTube, and others were people that we know, and we actually have played with online with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Let's go with the first one. I have here Dark Christ. Dark Christ says, the game is great, but they have to resolve the cheap life damage issue.
Oh yeah.
And add a spectator mode.
Yeah. Pretty much what we covered that.
Exactly. These people are people that play with us online. We have Jadaman. He says, love the game, but the lack of modes and the bore fest that online is without spectator mode is horrible. At least with this mode, you can actually study your opponent. That is awesome because you can actually see the fight. Once you can actually referee internet matches, online tournaments. But at the same time, you can actually see how your opponents are fighting. And that way you can actually learn. Net Shadow X have a big issue with spammers. Too cheap to play with, have to fix the line. There's some reviews on YouTube that I actually looked at, and I really love what these reviews have to say about the game. But the first one I want to touch is X-Play. A few months ago, X-Play made a horrible review of a game that we actually found out to be awesome, and it was about Metroid: The Other M. We know that Metroid: Other M has a lot of mixed reviews and all that stuff, but when we saw the review that X-Play did for Other M, we actually felt that it wasn't professional enough. The same thing actually happens with this game. Oddly enough, they actually give the game a 5 out of 5, a perfect score. How can you actually give a perfect score to a game that have so many faults?
I don't know, not even I give it a 5 out of 5. That's coming from me.
And we are hardcore fans.
Yeah. I mean, if it were me, I would give it a 3.
Another review. This is from Arcade Game Table. It's one of my friends on YouTube. The thing he actually takes more. He will love to have regular control like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the hardcore gamers. He actually talks about the simple mode. He tells you that okay, you have the simple mode for new gamers and all this stuff, but for the hardcore, you actually have the new layout. But it would be nice if you actually include another mode you could actually play the game as you did on Marvel's. And there are not many unlockables on the game. He actually mentioned that you actually go in Marvel's Capcom 2, and there's a lot to unlock. Colors, characters, stages, music, and all this stuff. And you have to keep on fighting, and earning points because you have to buy.
Actually, on the first day that I got this game, I played online with one of my friends in Softbox, and when I got offline from fighting with him, everything was unlocked.
How many characters are you supposed to unlock at the board?
Akuma, Lele, or Shenko, whatever, Sentinel, and Taskmaster. And
it actually I've been unlocked after an hour and a half playing.
Yeah,
that's it.
Less than that. I played for like half an hour only with Softbox, if I remember right. And it was like when I got off, it says a new character has been unlocked, and I had to go at that moment. But when I got back in, everything was unlocked. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Already?
Already. The Witty Show. This is another review. The Witty Show is another YouTuber. He mentions that the story is very shitty. That the endings are very lame. Like the new controller for the game. Like the new controller for the game, but he liked more the original layout of the controller. Lack of modes. He indicates that the roster is more balanced. He actually says that the roster is more balanced.
Well, considering from Marvel's Capcom 2, which only like 3 or 4 characters were actually worth.
The IGN review, which was made by Reach George, he talks a lot the awesome graphics of the roster, that the roster is well balanced. This is another person that actually says that the roster is well balanced. Indicates that the simple mode is not enough for a newcomer to take on an experienced gamer.
Which is true.
Exactly, it's true. And informed that about the lack of modes and no mode variety and unlockables. I don't know how I'm actually going to pronounce this correctly. Zeitgeist?
I don't know. I think
Zeitgeist?
Zeitgeist.
So Zeitgeist, whatever.
CG.
He actually is not a big fighter, a big fan of fighting games, so that stuff. He actually said that he bought the game and he bought an arcade stick by being drunk. He got drunk with some friends, and surprisingly he ends up on a GameStop, I believe, and he bought the game and he bought an arcade stick. And he started to play the game like hell.
I can imagine that guy like waking up like.
The thing is that he's
where the heck did you guys come from?
For the last part of the video, I have to talk about this specific review because I actually loved it. I may not agree with everything that he says on the review. Yeah. I agree with most of his things he says. He has very valid points about the things he said about the game, and it's the Angry Joe angry review of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was hilarious. But actually, he has some awesome points.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he often one of the first things that he said is that the fighting on this game is exactly what we as fans demanded.
Oh yeah, I totally want it.
He told me that once.
Yeah, it's just that
he told me to tell them now.
It's just that okay. You know how this game, when the beta came out, there was just like 6 characters or so. Everyone had double jump, everyone had air dash, and everyone had the exact same abilities. If you call it.
Same abilities.
Yeah, everyone had their own special move, but you know that's aside from the point. That's how it started, and then all of a sudden, everything changed. Like for example, Ryu had an air dash. It was taken out, and the problem with that was that most of the fans wanted this game not to be like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be more like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We get the game and they complain about it. Well,
that's the main problem. Many people actually complaining of how cheesy the game is.
Yeah.
But that's the problem.
You guys wanted it that
exactly.
way.
We actually demanded the game to be that way. And that is one of the first things that Angry Joe said on the snap. For him, it's a massive disappointment. The game is a massive disappointment. Just right in the snap for him. He actually says that right at the beginning of his review that it is a big disappointment for him. That he actually really wanted it to come out and say the game is awesome and all this stuff. But he cannot do that because for him it is a disappointment that the game actually deserved much more.
I can't blame you.
Remember guys to look for us on Facebook. We have a Facebook fan page. Remember to look us for us The Game Masters on Facebook. Also, look for us on Twitter, twitter.com/vidiumx. So you can actually follow our tweets. We don't tweet that much, but we like to tweet important stuff. So remember, thanks for watching this first edition of Fighter's Edge. Not all the edition of Fighter's Edge is going to be like this discussion. We're going to talk about different games, fighting games, different ways. But we really wanted to use this first edition as a discussion for Marvel's Capcom. So we're going to be signing off. Thanks for watching. See you later.